Madison schools reopen. Ahead of a big announcement today, see if case counts meet the threshold for students and staff to start returning to Madison schools.
And no fog in the forecast this morning, and the days are really starting to get longer. All of the details coming up.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everybody. We made it. It's Friday, January 8th. Hope you're waking up well this morning. I'm Leah Lynchide.
And I'm Chris Stanford. What a week it has been, and there is a big announcement that's going to happen today. The battle for in-person learning will soon have some answers for those that attend Madison public schools.
Indeed, in a few hours, Superintendent Carlton Jenkins will announce his plan. News 3's Taylor Lazenby is live at home with the latest. Good morning, Taylor.
Good morning, you guys. That's right. Today, all eyes are on Madison City Schools as we await a decision of whether or not kids will be allowed to slowly start in-person learning. Now, that decision comes less than 2 months after the death of Isai Morocho. He was a 16-year-old attending East High School who became the youngest person in the state to die from the coronavirus. Now, science used by Public Health Madison notes teachers and staff may be at a higher risk for school-based COVID transmission. Now, that risk can be reduced through proper socially distanced techniques, but these findings is what now has educators and parents at a crossroads.
We know our kids better than anybody knows our kids, and we may not be able to exactly say how they've changed or exactly how this has affected, but we know as parents that it's not right. They're not right. This isn't working.
Some things are suggestions and some things are orders. And so when it's in an order, whether we agree with it or not, that's what we have to plan on.
Parents like Naomi say their kids are struggling being at home, and she notes their health and their mental state just haven't been the same. Coming up in the next half hour, we hear more from parents and educators on their reopening process thoughts. For News 3, I'm Taylor Lazenby.
All right, Taylor, thank you. A reminder now of the Madison-Dane County Public Health Guidelines to reopen schools. To open schools for students in kindergarten through second grade, Dane County should see a 14-day average of 54 cases or fewer sustained for 4 consecutive weeks. For grades 3 through 5, it's 39 cases. For 6 through 12, it's 19 cases. The Madison school leaders say these are recommendations, not mandates. The latest daily, by the way, the latest average from city county health officials is 168 cases. At least 12% of positive tests were school-aged children. And for the latest developments on the school district's big decision today, be sure to stay with News 3 Now on air and online at channel3000.com. We will have digital coverage when they make that decision at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Be sure to download our free Channel 3000 News app to get that information on the go.
6:02 right now. I'm Josh Breder tracking breaking news overnight. A new study suggests Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine is effective against new strains of the coronavirus. 2 new strains considered more contagious were first identified in South Africa and the UK. Researchers at Pfizer and the University of Texas Medical Branch used a mutation found in both strains to create a version of the virus. The study, which has not been peer-reviewed, did not test the vaccine against full array of the mutations, but researchers noted that both Pfizer and Moderna used technology that would allow them to quickly adapt for mutations.
The Wisconsin DHS says more than 420,000 vaccines have now been allocated for Wisconsin. Around 266,000 have been shipped, only 110,000 administered. DHS officials say they hear your frustrations and that some feel the vaccine rollout has taken too long, and reassures people that anyone who wants a vaccine will be able to get one. DHS has recently increased eligibility for who can get that vaccine. Nursing home residents at St. Mary's Care Center in Madison are waking up with their first dose of the vaccine this morning. Yesterday, they received the Moderna shot, administered through a federal partnership with Walgreens. In all, 120 residents at that nursing home received their first dose.
The Wisconsin National Guard has now administered more than 1 million COVID-19 tests across the state. Guard members were first activated in April, making the testing initiative the single longest activation of the Guard in state history. Since handing over the large-scale operations at community testing sites in Madison and Milwaukee in the fall, the Guard has pivoted to a regional-based testing approach. Wisconsin is on track to surpass 500,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19 by the end of the week. More than 3,800 people were reported positive yesterday. That brings our statewide total to more than 498,000. That means nearly 9 out of every 100 Wisconsinites has had the virus. Wisconsin DHS says 56 new deaths were reported in the past 24 hours, and nearly 100 more people were hospitalized. 6:04 as we turn our attention now to your first warn forecast, saying good morning to Hattie McLean. Hey, Hattie.
Good morning, Chris, and a great Friday morning as we're starting with no fog across southern Wisconsin. Take a live look from our Edgewater Sky Camera. You can see the Capitol. No issues this morning, which is a big change from yesterday. Now, we have a lot of clouds still in the forecast, so we don't have much sun coming our way, but you may have been noticing that the sun is setting a little later each day. It's now noticeable. Our sunrise is also starting to come a little bit earlier. Yesterday's sunrise was 7:29. Today it's officially 7:28. So we're starting to add some minutes at the beginning of the day as well. Here are the numbers. In a month, we're going to add over an hour of daylight. We're currently adding about 10 to 15 minutes each week. So good news coming our way if you like those longer days. Again, no visibility issues this morning. Visibility is 10 miles or greater in all spots. Our temperatures are pretty mild as well. Under that cloud cover overnight, we really didn't drop much. 28 in Lone Rock and Mineral Point, 27 here in Madison. Janesville is still at 30 degrees. Again, Weather Track is showing you quite a bit of cloud cover across the region. There are some low-level clouds that may not be showing up on this satellite map as well. Skies are pretty cloudy across the entire area. Our wind forecast for today, it's a northerly wind, less than 10 miles an hour though, so no real big wind chill factor today. Future track forecast shows you temperatures holding nearly steady. We may drop a degree yet here in Madison, but with mostly cloudy skies, we're not going to see the mercury move too much today. Temperatures will be pretty similar by lunchtime, topping just at 28 in many spots later on this afternoon. We're going to keep the clouds this evening and even for the overnight hours, so not terribly cold tomorrow morning either. Here's a look at your extended forecast. We have pretty quiet conditions through the weekend. No precipitation moving into the area, even into the start of next week. Temperatures stay pretty similar with quiet weather. Our next chance for snow is late Wednesday into Thursday.
All right, Hattie, thank you. More breaking news now at 6:06. An officer from the U.S. Capitol Police Department has died in the aftermath of Wednesday's riots. Capitol Police say Officer Brian Sicknick died after suffering a stroke during the attack on the Capitol. Officer Sicknick was taken to the hospital and placed on life support. The force's union chairman originally shared he died yesterday afternoon, but he was still on life support. He passed away late last night. Sicknick was 40 years old and a 15-year veteran of the force.
In total, 5 people died after the attack on the Capitol. The Capitol Police Union Chair says one of its officers died from injuries sustained on duty. D.C. police say a woman rioting inside the Capitol died after being shot in the chest. 3 other people died, apparently from medical emergencies during the riot. At least 50 police officers were hurt. 68 people have been arrested so far. At least 23 of those arrests, those people have been released from jail after appearing in court for their charges. They range from violating a curfew set by Washington's mayor to more serious charges like carrying a gun without a license and assault on a police officer. All of the defendants pleaded not guilty. Many of them are from other states, as far away as Oregon. The judge ordered them not to return to D.C. until their next court appearance in June.
Though several were arrested during the attack Wednesday, the search for suspects involved continues. The Washington Metro Police Department is releasing photos of suspects they want to talk to about the violence on Capitol Hill. Police label the surveillance photos taken inside the Capitol as being persons of interest in unrest-related offenses. The photos are posted on the department's website. Anyone with information about the identity of these people is encouraged to call D.C. Police. The FBI is looking for the person or the persons responsible for placing pipe bombs outside the DNC and the RNC. The agency released this bulletin. It's offering up $50,000 for information on the suspect. Right now, it's unclear how the person in the hooded sweatshirt is related to the pipe bomb incidents.
People across the country are criticizing the police response at the Capitol this week. Many say the difference compared to their response to the Black Lives Matter protests last summer shows a double standard. We spoke with Michael Johnson, representing communities of color here, about what he saw.
The leader of our country went on TV and called these folks patriots and loving people. But then when you had young activists throughout this country marching, to denounce police brutality, they were called thugs and criminals.
Johnson said he hopes people can learn from Wednesday's events so that we can do better moving forward.
Shortly after seeing the events unfold in D.C. Wednesday, a Madison man says that he was called racial slurs by a group of Trump supporters on Madison's east side. Israel Imi said a group of people drove up next to his parked car in the Portillo's parking lot and started yelling racial slurs at him and his daughter. Imi said he called 911 but was told by police they were sorry it happened and to go home. Imi says growing up a black man in America, he's heard about this happening to others but never before experienced it himself.
Like, I didn't even do anything. It's not like, you know, I said something to this lady. You know, I'm sitting in my car. I was on my phone. And to be called that in this day and age, it's like a constant reminder. Like they constantly wants to let us know to stay in your place.
Imi was able to file a police report. Madison police say they are investigating the incident. Mayor Sachi Rhodes Conway also chiming in on this. She put out a statement saying that racial slurs and intimidation are never acceptable. People of color in our community must feel safe going about their daily lives. I hope that MPD is able to locate the people responsible.
Coming up on 6:11 this morning, finally some good news coming from the First Warn traffic maps as we take a look at them this morning. No fog to worry about as you hit the road. Your Friday morning commute is looking clear. We're still waking up with those clouds, but still at least you can see in front of your vehicle right now. We're not seeing any major problems across Madison. Drive times moving at posted speeds, and I just have to share this next graphic because we've been showing so many red and yellow lights all week, but look at that. Your impacts this morning giving you the green light for your morning commute. That's your First Warn traffic.
6:11 now. Coming up, more resignations at the White House. The latest to leave following the mob attack on the Capitol.
And later, mob backlash. What's starting to happen to people identified at the Capitol Wednesday?
The price of gold is at a 7-year high. Get top cash on the spot for your gold at Diamond Select. Cash in today while the price of gold is high. Don't miss out. Get instant cash for your gold today at Diamond Select, downtown Stoughton.
I'm a little old to count down the days, but my ski trip to Cascade Mountain with my cousin each year, so much fun. We used to pretend like we were flying. Now, we really do. My dad and my uncle like that we still ski free. But Noah and I, we just have fun. See you there.
For the pets you love, well, you gotta get down to Mounds Pet Food Warehouse, where your Tyler goes to help so many pets in town. Mounds Pet Food Warehouse. We raise money for farm animals in need. Shelter cats and police canines too. Mounds Pet Food Warehouse powers them all. And don't forget your free Mounds candy bar.
The forecast calls for a messy commute. The Ford lineup helps keep you in command. Intelligent four-wheel drive monitors traction, and a terrain management system adapts to road conditions at the turn of a knob. So you're ready to take on the elements with confidence. Through the storm in a new Ford Explorer, now with 0% financing for 72 months, plus $4,250 bonus cash. See your Wisconsin dealer today.
So, how's saving for the renovation going?
All done.
I will never understand how you do it.
Easy. She saves with BMO Harris. We give you a cash reward for every month you save.
So BMO will give me cash for saving money?
You bet.
Can the subject hold position 2, please?
How's this?
That's art.
I make saving look good.
When a bank helps you make real financial progress, that's the BMO effect. Get a $5 reward every month you save $200 or more in a new BMO Statement Savings account.
Accurate news as it happens, right here where you live. Information that you can use from the team you can trust. For more local stories that impact your life, News 3 Now. You make plans, what to wear, where to go, when to go, what to bring. And then the weather changes everything. Let News 3 Now First Warn Weather prepare you for what's coming. First, fast, and accurately, so you can plan your life.
At Diamond Select, our on-site goldsmith can create a beautiful, one-of-a-kind piece. Whether it's repurposing an old ring or creating from a picture on the line, we're here to help you create jewelry of your dreams. Diamond Select, downtown Stoughton.
We're back at 6:14. Developing this morning, another cabinet member from President Trump's administration has resigned over Wednesday's riots in Washington, D.C. Betsy DeVos stepping down as the president's education secretary. In her resignation letter to the president, she writes, quote, "There is no mistaking the impact your rhetoric had on the situation, and it is the inflection point for me," end quote. DeVos is the second cabinet member to resign over the violence. The president's transportation secretary, Elaine Chao, also quit over Wednesday's events.
New precautions are going up around the Capitol now to prevent further attacks. Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy says a 7-foot non-scalable fence is going up around the building for at least the next 30 days. In addition to the fence, more guardsmen are also being deployed to the area. According to NPR, 6,200 members of the National Guard are expected to be in the district by this weekend. Troops are coming in from 6 states, including neighboring New York and New Jersey.
Some members of the mob are finding themselves without a job this morning. At least a handful of the rioters have already been fired after people on the internet publicized their identities. Both D.C. police and the FBI have been asking for the public's help to identify those involved. Some individuals were quickly identified because they'd been photographed at the president's rallies or from their online discussions about QAnon conspiracy theories. Reuters says they know of at least 4 people who were in the riot that have now been fired. The Journal Sentinel reports a Wisconsin teacher who attended the rally was placed on leave. We'll have more on that coming up in the next half hour. A GOP lawmaker has lost a book publishing deal amid the backlash from the riot. Simon & Schuster says it will no longer publish the forthcoming book by Senator Josh Hawley. The Missouri Republican was one of the lawmakers who objected to Congress certifying President-elect Joe Biden's win. In a statement, Simon & Schuster canceled the publication and accused Hawley of playing a role in what it called a dangerous threat to our democracy and freedom. Hawley responded by calling the cancellation an assault on the First Amendment and plans to see the company in court.
Vice President Mike Pence plans on attending the Biden inauguration, but he's still waiting for his invite. That's according to sources close to the VP. A spokesperson for the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies says the president and vice president are never formally invited to the ceremonies. Pence's decision marks another major break with Trump after the two disagreed over the vice president's role in certifying the election results. Switching gears now, 6:17, time to check in with Hattie from home. How's it looking outside, Hattie?
Well, Leah, we actually get to switch gears weather-wise for a bit this morning. We're not talking about fog. Our almanac for the day shows you that we're pretty close to the normals for highs. Normal high is 26. Our forecast high is 28 today. We do have a lot of clouds in the area this morning, but again, no fog. Here's a look at our current temperatures. Temps are actually pretty mild right now for January standards. 23 in the Dells, 30 still in Janesville, 28 to Monroe and Platteville. So we are not going to move too far with those temperatures today. As you head to the bus stop, again, a mild start to this January morning. Very cloudy, though, through the day with highs only a couple of degrees warmer this afternoon at 28 degrees. No precipitation, though, expected today. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll take a closer look at that weekend forecast around the entire state.
All right, thanks, Hattie. 6:18. Looking at unemployment now across the country, the government says another 787,000 Americans filed for unemployment benefits for the first time last week. The number is seasonally adjusted. It's a slight decrease in claims from the week before. Meanwhile, more than 161,000 workers filed for benefits for the first time under the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program without seasonal adjustments. The program helps those who aren't eligible for regular state aid, such as the self-employed. Well, with the new year comes a new record low mortgage rate. Freddie Mac says mortgage lending rates dropped to another record low last week. The federally chartered mortgage investor reports the average interest rate on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage is now down to 2.65%. That is the lowest level in the nearly half century that Freddie Mac has been publishing the survey. It's the 17th historic low for the rate in less than a year.
Carnival Cruise Lines and Princess Cruises are beginning the new year with no stops in the U.S. The cruise companies have suspended all of their sailings from U.S. ports until spring. Princess Cruises hopes to pick up its itineraries after May 14th. Its European trips are also on pause for now. Carnival has canceled its schedule in U.S. waters through March 31st. And the Tokyo Olympic Games in July are still on, despite the Japanese government announcing a state of emergency for the capital city this week. Japan's prime minister informed the world that his country is determined to hold safe and secure games by taking all possible measures against the infection. He says he's optimistic that enthusiasm among the Japanese public will grow once vaccinations begin at the end of February.
All right, 6:20 right now. Coming up, if you're a fan of beer and snow, we've got a story you're going to want to stick around for coming up in Trending.
And coming up in our next half hour, which Wisconsin leaders are pushing for the president to step down. Stay with us.
Sponsored by RG Heating and Air Conditioning, installing train equipment and servicing all brands.
Cobeson Buses, now hiring.
Working with Cobeson, it's definitely been great because of the flexibility. If you do need time off, they work around you. They definitely try to make it a company that's based for you.
Visit Cobeson.com to apply.
The forecast calls for a messy commute. The Ford lineup helps keep you in command. Intelligent four-wheel drive monitors traction, and a terrain management system adapts to road conditions at the turn of a knob, so you're ready to take on the elements with confidence. Power through the storm in a new Ford Explorer, now with 0% financing for 72 months, plus $4,250 bonus cash. See your Wisconsin dealer today.
Extended through January 15th. Join Planet Fitness for no enrollment. $10 a month, no commitment. 2020 is over. Start 2021 with tons of ways to get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. And spread out while you work out with cardio distancing and our new crowd meter. Plus, use our app to get moving anywhere. Your fitness is essential, so kick things off with the year's best deal. Join for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. Deal ends January 15th.
5 Madison area locations. Sign up for $10 a month. Stop in today.
Love lower than low prices? Then get more ways to save at Pick and Save, where you can find personalized coupons, weekly deals, and rewards like fuel points. All for prices that are lower than low. On food that's fresher than fresh. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
So I can get the latest phones free with no hidden requirements?
Yep. All season long.
And do I have to get the most expensive plan?
Nope. No plan restrictions.
Okay, but we have to trade in our phones.
Right?
Right?
Nope. Keep your phones.
Did you say free phones?
Yep. The latest phone's free for you.
Okay.
Switch to U.S. Cellular and get the latest phones free, available all season long with no hidden requirements. U.S. Cellular. Upgrade to fair.
Get more local news now with Channel 3000 Plus, our free digital streaming service that brings you area news and info 24/7 from the News 3 Now team. Channel 3000 Plus. Download it today and watch from your streaming media player or mobile device.
This day is our day. This moment is our moment. Let's take the next step.
Cobeson Buses, now hiring.
After we backed that bus out of its stall and started driving, I just loved it. We really get a chance to get to know each other. Almost everyone has a different story about how they came to bus driving, so you really end up feeling like you're part of a family.
Visit Cobeson.com to apply.
Darlene sent us a great photo this morning of some of the frost out there, but we have just been so fortunate to have such beautiful pictures sent in. Mother Nature providing some beautiful opportunities for that. Wisconsin's really looked great over these past couple of weeks. If we've had any advantages to all that fog hanging around, it's been images like this. Thanks again, Darlene. Send us your photos, folks. Show us what you're up to in the morning by using the hashtag MyNews3Morning.
Well, trending this morning, guys, here's something to cheer your spirits the next time you're shoveling away a heavy snowfall from the driveway or sidewalks. Busch is now offering $1 off its beers for every inch of snow that falls between now and March 28th. There is a limit to the size of the discount, though, so don't expect a totally free beer. Busch is offering a rebate of up to $15 on a 30-pack of Busch or Busch Light, or a $12 rebate for a 24-pack. The brewer was generous with some of the choices, picking locations further north within states. So that means Wisconsinites are going to want to keep a close eye on any snowfall in Green Bay. I'm sure Leah's already looking at the forecast coming up for Green Bay right now, trying to see, am I going to get any money off that Busch Light? Leah, I know it's your favorite.
I had to Google last hour how much a 24-pack is anyway. You take 15 bucks off of that? What is it, free? So they're $24. So it's $1 a beer.
Is that what it is now?
Come on, Chris. Yeah. So we're getting that puppy for what, $9?
Man.
If we get 15 inches? That's a little aggressive, but hey.
Yeah, I've never seen a promotion like that before. I know when I was going to school, I think like a 30-pack of Busch Light might have been like $10. I don't know, Hattie was probably just... Okay, go ahead.
This is the king of beers, okay? $25, well worth those priceless cans that you're getting inside that box.
I respect your opinion, Leah. But we don't have...
I'd say get those $20 bills ready, guys.
I know. Hey, but really, Hattie, we don't have really any opportunities for measurable snowfall in the forecast right now, do we?
No, we're paying full price for that Busch Light over the next several weeks. We really have a pretty quiet forecast coming up. Take a look at our camera in Platteville. This is our Queen Bee Radio sky camera showing you that you actually can see something this morning. Fog is not a big issue. That's a huge change from yesterday. Temperatures are in the upper 20s in Platteville and Monroe, as well as Mineral Point. Pretty close to that here in Madison. So I'm not expecting a lot of movement with the mercury today. Temperatures will likely hold nearly steady. Now, Weather Track is showing you a little bit of holes, or a few holes developing in the cloud cover. However, low-level clouds still continue for the area, so we're all waking up with cloudy skies this morning. Our forecast has temperatures topping right around 28 later on this afternoon. We'll be right back after the break.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Looking to update your flooring? Surgenians has you covered. Our experienced salespeople will guide you through the area's largest flooring selection so you can make the best decision. And Surgenians' reliable craftsmen ensure your flooring's installed right. Local, sustainable Surgenians.
At Papa Murphy's, we make fresh pizza that you bake at home. Because home is where the fun is. Right now, get the Herb Chicken Mediterranean Pizza for just $9. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection is here 24 hours a day.
7 days a week for all your residential and commercial plumbing services.
From installation, repairs, and maintenance to complete sewer and drain cleaning, we've got you covered.
Visit MononaPFP.com.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection, a name you can trust when service is a must.
Dear all-wheel drive, I'm your new co-pilot, Camry. Let's show the road what we've got. Snowy streets, we're coming for you. Icy grip, we're holding tight. Wintry mix, meh. Safety's the name of our game. Steady, Camry all-wheel drive.
Right now, you can get 0.9% APR financing for 60 months on a new 2021 Toyota Camry. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
This is the big one, folks. The Brothers Maine Everything's on Sale sale. Get huge clearance prices on every brand in the store with 0% financing for up to 18 months. Only Maine delivers more satisfaction every day, like a risk-free 30-day price satisfaction guarantee, giving you 100% confidence in your purchase. How's that for more? The Everything's on Sale sale with more selection, more savings, and more happy homes on everything now at the Brothers Maine, your local store for more since 1938.
A surprise party, a wedding proposal, an unexpected bonus at work. Some surprises are awesome, but this, weather like this, should never be a surprise. Not when you watch News 3 Now, where you get an accurate, reliable forecast, so you're never caught off guard by the weather. Need to get up early to shovel, add time to your commute, wear boots, rebook a flight? Let News 3 Now First Warn Weather give you everything you need to know so you can plan your life. Ghost stories, sleeping in, afternoon naps. Some things are just better with a toasty, warm blanket. That's why News 3 Now and St. Vincent de Paul are collecting new and gently used blankets for our neighbors in need. Please drop them off at a Dane County St. Vincent de Paul store or participating area churches the last weekend of January. Or donate new blankets online at svdpmadison.org.
Looking at the metrics, where MMSD stands this morning on its own criteria to make a back-to-school decision this afternoon.
And lawmakers consider removing President Trump from office after the bloody riots at Capitol Hill. Where your representatives stand on that decision.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Good Friday morning, everybody. Thanks for waking up with us. It is decision day for Madison schools.
A big one coming today, this afternoon. The district will announce whether it plans to stay virtual or allow for some in-person learning this semester. Based on current case counts, MMSD does not meet the metrics, though, to safely reopen. Take a look at this. Community spread is still too high to allow in-person learning at any level, according to Dane County Madison Public Health here. So they also take CDC recommendations into account and really look hard at the case counts. Not enough families support in-person learning either. This is the most recent data from the district here, posted at the beginning of this week. Fewer than a third of families in all grade levels prefer any type of in-person instruction, including a hybrid option.
It's not even clear whether Madison has enough teachers willing to go back to class right now. MMSD says it needs 95% of its staff to return in order for hybrid or in-person learning to work. The district hasn't released any data of its own on how staff are feeling, but News 3 Now obtained a survey by the Madison Teachers Union, and that shows nearly 95% of those surveyed do not support in-person learning. In order to go back, the union says it wants all metrics met, in-person work to be voluntary, and hazard pay for any of that in-person work. Now, Madison schools responding to the union's list of expectations. It said in a statement, quote, MMSD is proud of our partnership with MTI and has worked collaboratively to prepare for those decisions. Despite the shortcomings, the district says it meets all its criteria for making schools a safe space for virtual learning.
Taylor Lazenby has been tracking reopening all week and is breaking down what the district's been doing to prepare for a possible in-person return. Good morning, Taylor.
Hi guys, that's right. Good morning. The district is saying that their most recent update in their reopening metrics shows that it meets almost all the criteria to open facilities. Now, to help protect against COVID-19 outbreak within schools, the Madison City School District plans to include daily health screenings, such as temperature checks for students and staff. District leaders are also considering the use of rapid testing for those who have been exposed or test positive. With all these kinds of things in place, some parents, just like Joshua Russo, say schools could have opened sooner than this.
We should have opened in September. The weather was good. Our community spread was low. And all of the experts were like, this is the time to figure it out. You can open windows. Because now the spread is higher and the ventilation is more difficult in the winter.
As we mentioned earlier, the district's most recent data shows fewer than a third of families feel the same way as Joshua. The Madison City School District says it has more than 50,000 masks available and has been stockpiling personal protective equipment for months now. The only criteria for facilities that is still in the progress is implementing a daily self-reported symptom screener for staff and for students. And like we've been saying all morning, the district is making its final decision and we'll announce it at 1 o'clock this afternoon. We're going to have full coverage on that if you log on to our website. That's at channel3000.com.
All right, thank you, Taylor. Looking ahead, President-elect Joe Biden says he plans to reopen a majority of schools within his first 100 days of office. Politico reports the president-elect's plan hinges on giving rapid tests to all students, teachers, and staff at least once a week. The proposal would require the federal government to cover the cost. It would require a big increase in test manufacturing and lab capacity. Depending on how quickly Biden's plans come together and how schools plan to reopen, this could cause some districts to pivot. A new nationwide study in overnight suggests reopening schools might be safer than previously thought, but only in certain areas. NPR reports researchers focused on hospitalization rates. In areas where hospitalization rates are relatively low, they didn't find an increase in hospitalizations once schools reopened. Researchers don't have a clear idea of how reopening impacted communities with higher hospitalization rates. In some areas, the rates were higher. In others, it was lower. According to Public Health Madison, Dane County hospitalization in Dane County is considered to be at a high level.
Within the past few days, teachers have also had the responsibility to explain what's been happening in D.C. Social studies teacher David Olson says the U.S. Capitol violence has shaken up his planned lessons. He teaches at James Madison Memorial High School. Olson says it was important for him to create a safe space where students could ask questions and express emotions. He knows his students walked away with a better understanding.
This is what I teach. So watching this, my mind kept thinking of what are the things I need to help students understand? Where are the places where students I know are going to have questions?
Olson says topics ranged from political processes to media literacy in his classes on Thursday. He thinks this is the type of historic event that's going to stick with his students.
6:35, I'm Josh Breiter, tracking breaking news overnight related to the violence in D.C. A U.S. Capitol police officer is dead this morning after suffering a stroke during the riots. Officers held a moment of silence outside of the Capitol late last night to honor Brian Sicknick. He was 40 years old and had worked for the force for 15 years. News of the officer's passing came minutes after the U.S. Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund resigned. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the president of the Capitol Police Officers Union both called for him to step down. Sicknick is the 5th person to die from the bloody riots at the Capitol on Wednesday.
This morning, the FBI is asking for your help to identify a person they believe could be responsible for the pipe bombs outside the RNC and DNC Wednesday. The Washington Bureau of the agency shared this poster on Twitter overnight. It's offering $50,000 for information leading to a person's arrest and conviction. Several law enforcement agencies got reports of suspected pipe bombs at the RNC at around 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Officials also found a pipe bomb at the DNC with a similar description. The FBI also sharing these pictures of other people of interest related to the looting and the violence at the Capitol. The agency has shared 10 pictures of people who entered and are suspected of looting. No reward has been offered in these cases. This morning, we do know that 90 people have been arrested so far related to what happened in D.C. on Wednesday. More arrests are expected as officers continue to identify suspects.
A growing number of Wisconsin Democrats support removing President Trump from office after this week's riots, but some Republicans say he's not to blame. Attorney General Josh Kaul, Senator Tammy Baldwin, and Representative Mark Pocan have openly supported his removal. Republican Representatives Scott Fitzgerald and Tom Tiffany both supported the president by objecting to certifying votes in Arizona and Pennsylvania. Congressman Glenn Grothman considered objecting, but chose not to. He tells our Milwaukee affiliate he does not believe the president is responsible for the riots. The Justice Department, though, isn't so sure. The New York Times reports the department isn't ruling out pursuing charges against President Trump for his possible role in inciting the mob that broke into and looted the Capitol. Hours before his supporters stormed the building, the president told them they should go because they could never, quote, take back the country with weakness. The Justice Department generally says sitting presidents can't be charged with a crime, but that only protects President Trump for 12 more days.
6:37 as we turn our attention now to the forecast. Hattie McLean, we got some clear skies for once out there.
We certainly do. We have no issues with fog this morning across southern Wisconsin, which is a huge improvement over the rest of the mornings this week. We've had nearly a week of fog in the area. Take a live look from the Edgewater Sky Camera here in downtown Madison. No issues seeing the Capitol building. Visibility is, in fact, about 10 miles in most locations for southern Wisconsin. So that's the good news this morning. The bad news is that we're not going to see a lot of sunshine. We still have lots of low clouds in the area today, and they're going to stay put as we go through the day. Luckily, that fog did not melt the snow across the area with colder temperatures in place. So our snowpack is still looking pretty good here in southern Wisconsin. Many areas have over 6 inches of snow on the ground. So if you're planning some winter activities this weekend, looking good in the southern part of the state. Zooming out to the rest of Wisconsin, you'll note that snow cover is a little bit lighter through the central part of the state, and especially in northeastern Wisconsin, where some areas don't have any snow on the ground right now. well. If you look northwest, though, towards Ladysmith and Superior, they're still looking at a pretty decent snowpack there as well. Here's a look at your future track forecast across the state this weekend. It's looking pretty dry. We have clouds in place, though, on Saturday. Doesn't look like there are going to be too many holes in the cloud cover with those low clouds sticking around for the entire state. Temps will be in the upper 20s. Again, on Sunday, a lot of the same, especially through the first part of the day. There may be some indication, though, that the clouds actually start to break up late on Sunday. So maybe a little bit of sunshine possible later in the day. Temperatures, though, will still stick in the upper 20s on Sunday. Our temperatures this morning are in the upper 20s as well in many spots. 27 here in Madison and Monroe and Platteville. Prairie du Chine's at 24 this morning. Over the next 12 hours, we're not going to see that temperature move too much. Maybe a degree or two here and there, but highs in the upper 20s this afternoon. Light north winds are expected all day today. That quiet weather trend is going to continue into the first part of next week with highs right around 30 degrees. Chances for snow and colder temperatures are then in the forecast for the end of next week.
All right, Hattie, thank you. More breaking news overnight. Early data suggests this morning Pfizer's vaccine can protect against 2 new highly contagious variants of COVID. The variants originally found in Britain and South Africa are causing global concern. The British variant has already been found in the U.S. Pfizer used blood samples from people who had already gotten the vaccine and found their antibodies successfully fought off the virus. The study is preliminary and still needs to be reviewed by experts, but researchers say it is a reassuring finding.
Assembly Speaker Robin Vos has said that we can expect a COVID relief bill passed by the end of the week, but the legislature is still divided on it this morning. The Assembly passed a bill yesterday, but the GOP Senate leader says that his chamber is against it. Even if the current bill passes the full legislature, Governor Evers is likely to veto it. Evers and the Assembly Democrats have their own proposals, which Republicans don't support.
Wisconsin is now on pace to reach 500,000 lifetime COVID cases by the end of the day. The state has more than 498,000 cases, according to the DHS's latest count. Hospital availability has dropped by 4% this week, down from 20 to 16%. The 7-day average of new cases is the highest it's been since Christmas Eve. Wisconsin still lagging in vaccinations as well. Of the 420,000 vaccines allocated for Wisconsin, just over 266,000 have been shipped, and less than half of those have actually been administered. The DHS says it understands the frustration, but it is encouraged by the increase in eligible vaccinators. The DHS says in less than a month, that has increased by tenfold.
6:41 is your time this morning. We are smooth sailing on this Friday. Let's take a look at your first 4 traffic maps. We don't have any fog to deal with. The first morning this week where we actually have pretty good travel conditions out there so far this morning. No problems to report across Dane or Rock counties this morning. We are moving at those posted speeds. Let's take a live look outside because we can actually see outside this morning for the first day of the week. It is Friday and we are of course looking forward to the weekend. Hattie's got your forecast coming up.
And we'll hear from a Wisconsin cancer patient who is celebrating the end of his chemotherapy.
Hey, Tom.
Sheila. Hey, don't take losing the Anderson business personally.
I resigned it, Tom. I guess they didn't tell you about their opossum problem.
I thought it was pronounced possum.
Habitat for Humanity of Dane County continues to help hardworking families attain homeownership. By providing financial coaching, homeowners can manage their mortgage and other finances while building stability for their family. Strengthen our community. Support Habitat Dane County.
I want a client who comes in to feel comfortable and to know that their case is in good hands so they can relax and get on with their life as best as they can and let me do the fighting for them. That's how I want them to feel.
Gingras, Thompson, and Walks.
Spread holiday cheer and save more than ever at the Century House. Right now, give $50 or more to charity and get $400 off Stressless Mayfair recliners in all Paloma leather colors and $300 off most other stressless recliners. Plus, save hundreds more with $200 off every sofa seat you buy. 'Tis the season to give a little and save big on stressless furniture. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
This is the big one, folks. The Brothers Maine Everything's on Sale sale. Get huge clearance prices on every brand in the store with 0% financing for up to 18 months. Only Maine delivers more satisfaction every day, like a risk-free 30-day price satisfaction guarantee, giving you 100% confidence in your purchase. How's that for more? The Everything's on Sale sale with more selection, more savings, and more happy homes on everything now at the Brothers Maine, your local store for more since 1938.
Better? On the next Live Before, our canine correspondents, Lola and Louie, have the best animal stories of the week, and Michael Bruno goes behind the screens, showcasing one of Madison's favorite bands, Harmonious Whale.
Waking up to stuff like this should never be a surprise. Download the Channel 3000 First Warn app and be ready for whatever Mother Nature throws our way.
Some excellent news for a Packers fan this morning who's celebrating in a very Wisconsin way. Check this out. 22-year-old Tyler Bloomdahl has been fighting stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma, and after finishing his 12th and hopefully final round of chemo in his Aaron Rodgers jersey, he rings the bell and shotguns a beer.
Busch Light. Contemplating that for a couple days. I had to get a good one. I wanted to make sure it was going to be the right one, but I ended up going with the one that I've always liked. So had to go with the Busch Light.
Well, there you go. So Pat McAfee, a popular podcaster and fellow Packers fan, shared this video on Twitter, and it has more than 1 million views. And Tyler says he's just overwhelmed by all of the positive response and the love that he's gotten off of this. I mean, I love everything about this because it's fun. It's good news. He's got the Rodgers jersey on. He's wearing a Carhartt hat in the interview. Like, he's just a down-to-earth kind of guy. In a week that's not been awesome, I thought this was a nice light at the, to brighten our spirits on a Friday. What do you think, Leah?
Certainly making me smile, Chris. I don't think you get more Wisconsin than that, right? You pointed out 3 of my favorite things: the Packers, Carhartt, Busch Light. I'm sold. Is he looking for a new friend? Like, I'll give him a little Zoom call. Hey, buddy.
Oh, good stuff. We gotta highlight the positive, and we don't do that enough. Right, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, that's a heck of a battle, too, so good for him. I know my dad, when I was 4 years old, he battled non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, so I know a lot of people that have been there, done that. Good for him, and he can drink Busch Light all he wants. So that is a great, great accomplishment.
He's earned it. Well, Hattie McLean, we've got some decent weather to end off the work week, don't we?
Yeah, we're kind of ending on a high note. At least we're not starting with any fog this morning. Take a live look for our Queen Bee Radio Sky Camera. Oh, this is the Whisk Cam here at the station, looking to the east. Cloudy skies in place, but no fog. That's the good news. Temperatures this morning are starting in the 20s. We're not terribly cold early today. Here's a look at your day planner temps. We're not moving too far either with the clouds hanging around all day. We are just going to move a couple of degrees. Highs around 28 this afternoon.
All right, thanks, Hattie.
6:47 now. Stick around. The morning sprint is coming up after the break.
But first, it is January 8th, and we want to say happy birthday to Elliot and all the other kids turning 3.
Look Who's 3 is sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
It's your last chance for Furniture and Appliance Mart's New Year's appliance deals. Save huge on top brand appliances, including top brand doorbusters like these. Plus, no interest for 18 months and quick ship delivery at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley Home Store off the Beltline.
Your parents spent years taking care of you. But as the years go by, it becomes your turn to take care of them. This might mean trusting a nursing home, which promises to care for them as cherished loved ones. But if the nursing home you've chosen is not keeping their promise, we can help. If your parents have been injured in a nursing home, call Habish, and Rotier. We fight for what's right.
We drive everywhere to help our son reach his dream of becoming an elite swimmer. So we enrolled in the Know Your Drive program with American Family Insurance. It gives us discounts for safe driving and other benefits, like emergency roadside service, which comes in handy, no matter where his dreams take him. With Know Your Drive, save up to 20% and get closer to your dreams. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Carrier has a complete line of home heating products to keep your family comfortable this winter without burning your budget. With smart temperature management and remote access options, it's easier than ever to control your home's climate. And Carrier energy-efficient systems can help reduce utility bills without sacrificing comfort. For more complete comfort and greater peace of mind, turn to your Carrier expert.
Harker Heating and
Accurate news as it happens.
We want to make sure our vaccination sites are ready.
Right here, where you live.
Nearly half of Dane County's total COVID deaths have come in the last month.
Information that you can use.
These case counts are still testing our public health system and straining our hospital system.
From the team you can trust.
So many generous people are willing to help us.
For more local stories that impact your life, News 3 Now. Download the Channel 3000 First Warn Weather app today. News 3 Now and Channel 3000 put top stories and breaking news at your fingertips. Video alerts and forecasts, simple and fast. Download the Channel 3000 app today.
It's your last chance for the Ashley Home Store New Year's sale. Shop exclusive deals through Tuesday only, including doorbusters available for immediate pickup and delivery, plus interest-free financing for 5 years, and a bonus 5% discount off our sale prices. Only at Ashley Home Store.
Join us on News 3 Now at 6 and 10.
Welcome back, 6:51. It's time for the morning sprint.
And it is decision day for Madison schools. This afternoon, the district will announce whether it plans to stay virtual or allow for in-person learning this semester. Based on current case counts, though, MMSD does not meet the metrics to safely allow students to return. Take a look at this. Community spread is just too high right now to allow in-person learning at any grade level. This is based on CDC recommendations and Public Health Madison Dane County's community spread counts. Well, not enough families support in-person learning either. This is the most recent data from the district, which was posted just at the beginning of this week. Fewer than a third of families in all grade levels prefer any type of in-person instruction, including a hybrid option.
It's not even clear whether Madison has enough teachers willing to go back to class. MMSD says it needs 95% of its staff to return in order for hybrid or in-person learning to work. News 3 Now obtained a survey by the Madison Teachers Union that shows nearly 95% of those surveyed do not support in-person learning. In order to go back, the union says it wants all metrics met, in-person work to be voluntary, and hazard pay for any of that in-person work. Madison schools responded to the union's list of expectations with a statement that says, in part, MMSD is proud of our partnership with MTI and has worked collaboratively to prepare for those decisions.
Despite the shortcomings, the district says it meets all criteria for making schools a safe space for virtual learning. The Madison City School District plans to include daily health screenings, such as temperature checks for students and for staff. Now, district leaders are also considering the use of rapid testing for those who are exposed to students and staff who test positive. The district is making its final decision and will announce it at 1 this afternoon. We'll have full coverage of that decision on our website. That's channel3000.com.
Breaking overnight, a U.S. Capitol police officer is dead after suffering a stroke during the riots at the Capitol on Wednesday. Officers held a moment of silence outside of the Capitol last night to honor Brian Sicknick. He was 40 years old and had worked for the force for 15 years. Sicknick is the 5th person to die from the bloody riots at the Capitol on Wednesday. And developing this morning, more top administration officials are resigning in the aftermath of the violent attacks. Overnight, CBS News confirming a top official at the NSC, Anthony Ruggiero, has resigned. Also stepping down are Education Secretary Betsy DeVos and Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao. The Washington Post counts 11 Trump administration officials who have left since Wednesday.
Vice President Mike Pence is against invoking the 25th Amendment to remove President Trump from office. The New York Times confirmed his stance overnight. He has not made an official announcement yet, though. Top Wisconsin Democrats like Wisconsin Representative Mark Pocan and Senator Tammy Baldwin have both said that they would support invoking the amendment. A Wisconsin teacher is on administrative leave this morning after telling students that he would go to D.C. ahead of the riots and shared voter conspiracy theories in class. The Journal-Sentinel reports the teacher works for the Burlington Area School District. The newspaper has obtained screenshots of emails sent by that teacher to students. They include a link to a YouTube video about a Rudy Giuliani ballot conspiracy theory. The district has launched an internal investigation.
New this morning, discrimination based on hairstyles in Dane County workplaces and within organizations that use county services is now prohibited. The State Journal reports the county board voted unanimously on that ordinance change last night. Sheila Stubbs introduced it because she says she's been judged on her hairstyle before, like many other black people. She says she felt the county should make it clear that's never acceptable.
Also breaking overnight, early data suggesting Pfizer's vaccine can protect against 2 new highly contagious variants of COVID. Pfizer used blood samples from people who had already gotten the vaccine and found their antibodies successfully fought off the virus. The study is preliminary and still needs to be reviewed by experts, but researchers say it is a reassuring finding.
Forward Madison needs your help. The team welcomed a new member to their squad this week. Hi, cutie. Their informal mascot, Lionella Bessie, had a baby on Tuesday. Now the Flamingos need help naming their 70-pound calf. Huh. We have information on how to do that up on channel3000.com. What a cutie.
Oh, cute story there. 6:55 right now. Let's take a look at your first one traffic as you head out the door. No fog to deal with. We are smooth sailing on the roads. Just a couple of brake lights. It's pretty normal around this time of the morning on East Washington Avenue. Drive times are looking pretty good. That's your first one traffic.
And your first warn weather starts a little warmer this morning than this time yesterday. Temperatures are running in the upper 20s in many spots this morning. Take a look at our satellite and radar combined. We are dealing with a lot of clouds today. Look for steady temperatures.
Thanks so much for joining us on your Friday, folks. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here Monday.